Well, I mean,
Right. So are we talking now?
yeah, Bob, we had a conversation. What I think what was it? Maybe last year sometime, right? When
Yeah.
it was still
It
cold.
was quite a while ago.
Well, a while back. And to be fair, as far as I'm concerned, it was pretty conclusive at the time. Right?
Yeah, you thought you were wrong.
Oh.
There you go. I agree. It
Right,
was
okay.
conclusive that you were wrong.
Fair enough. All right, that's your opinion. I mean, let's just go back to the fundamentals. You have a universal claim about existence, right? And your universal claim is that there is this thing called the universe. We exist within it, and within the universe, there is a message for humanity, specifically for humanity, and it comes in the
person of Jesus Christ.
The person of Jesus Christ.
Yep.
And Jesus Christ wants us to behave a certain way.
He wants us to embody a certain kind of humanity, yes.
A certain kind of humanity, have certain beliefs.
Yes.
Jesus Christ was alive 2,000 years ago.
Yes.
Right?
More or less.
He's not left anything that he's personally written, but people have been writing.
They've written about him, yes.
Having been inspired by his movement.
Yeah, I think we can assume an intelligent audience. Let's assume an intelligent audience, so we don't need to state the obvious.
Well, no, but look, we have to set up the ground. People should understand what you're claiming, ultimately,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So, I mean, there's so many truth claims within history, as we said last time. And last time,
Can I propose
you didn't give me anything serious. I can't even remember what it was that you.
We were talking about the evidence of the resurrection.
Yeah, we spoke about the evidence.
Talking about the evidence for which you gave absolutely no response.
You gave me a verse in the Bible. Do you want to start off by reading that verse again?
So let's think about what happened 2,000 years ago, right? With regards to the resurrection.
So I mean,
a religious movement started, okay? And even skeptics like Dr. Bart Ehrman accept and acknowledge that something happened to convince a bunch of people who knew that someone was dead had come back to life.
Do you think that's a bit intellectually dishonest?
Of Dr. Bart Ehrman?
No. Of you to claim that what Bart Ehrman has said is what somehow...
Dr. Bart, bro, I've watched the video.
I know what you're saying.
I've watched the video. He said it. He said it, bro.
Yes, he said
it.
But he didn't say it in support of the idea that Jesus was actually
and I haven't done that either.
So just for
Hold on one second.
For the record's sake,
I haven't done that either.
Ehrman does not believe.
You're strawmanning me right now.
No.
I haven't said that. Calm down. Drink less coffee. You asked me to state something. Let me state it. Don't interrupt.
But the way you do it,
are we going to have one of those conversations where we just interrupt one another? No, it isn't a dog whistle. It is an acknowledgement that even a skeptic like Dr. Bart Ehrman acknowledges that something, and I'm not changing anything of what I said, that something happened that convinced a bunch of people to believe that a man that they knew was dead was alive. So the question that I ask you is, what would convince you that a man you knew was dead was alive? Yeah.
So again, I mean, we're just going around in circles because the last time
you brought the topic up.
Yeah, last time what I said to you was, what would convince me? Is what convinced those people.
There you go.
Wait a second. And what convinced those people?
That they saw him.
Saw him.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Saw him.
That's it. Right. You've got it.
I did not see him.
Right, but here's the point. Here's the point.
Yes.
If you will be charitable to these other human beings, in the sense that you won't accuse them of being outright liars.
No, I'm not.
Right. That's what I'm asking. In the same way, if someone makes a claim, right, that and we have no reason to doubt their claim, right, then we've got to take seriously the claim that they make.
Are you telling me that I have no reason to doubt the claim of some written record of some people 2,000 years ago?
No, we're even before that.
Claiming to
You've got it wrong again.
A man be killed, then come back from the
dead. Right, but here's the point.
I mean, look, this
hold on.
History is
ram-packed. Before you rattle out your soundbite,
full of amazing claims about
before you rattle out your soundbite, at least get it right. At least get my argument right before you rattle out the soundbite. Because when Paul was writing his letters to people, he was writing to people that already believed. So it's important to recognize in this discussion that the beliefs came before the books. The beliefs came before the literature. The literature is a result of the beliefs. The question is, what convinced this movement?
Never mind what convinced this movement.
No, what do you mean? What do you mean, never mind?
Why should I believe it now?
What do you mean, never mind?
So,
what do you mean, never mind?
Right now, there's.
If it happened 2,000 years ago, then we have a witnessed miracle that confirms the teaching and identity of Jesus Christ. If he rose from the dead, it's game over for every other worldview. Yeah, if Jesus, do you agree? If Jesus really did rise from the dead, then Christianity is true and every other philosophy and religion is false.
If he really did rise from the dead, if he really did.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
right then. Yeah. So let's not say
really
no. But you just said never mind what happened 2,000 years ago. What happened 2,000 years ago is the exact point we're building our faith on.
What I meant. I didn't mean if he did rise from the dead. Never mind that.
Yeah.
I'm saying never mind that we have records now written of some people thinking they saw Jesus or claiming to have seen Jesus having risen from the dead.
Yes.
Okay? I mean, there's people that claim to have seen...
aliens.
All the time. Right?
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right? That are alive,
of course.
And I don't believe them.
Yeah, neither do I.
Why would I believe somebody that claims to have seen somebody come back from the dead?
Yeah.
Apparently, because it says it in some piece of literature, historical piece of literature, not written.
So compare.
At the time.
So compare. One second.
When was the earliest Bible written?
One second. No. You don't get to control this conversation. So
it's a conversation.
Yeah, it is a conversation. You didn't answer my question, and my question to you was, I will take any theory that you offer seriously for examination if you can return the favour.
Yeah.
And I propose to you and to everyone who's listening to this and watching this, that the reason why the first apostles and the first Christians were convinced that Jesus Christ rose from the dead is because they really saw it.
Okay.
They really experienced it.
Why should I believe that
Let me finish. Okay. Now, if you're going to say that that didn't happen, give me a better explanation.
So I think it's not my responsibility, because I'm not the one that's claiming the facts, right? You're claiming that 2,000 years ago, this man came, healed the lepers,
yes,
right? Healed the blind,
yes,
made, I don't know, a small number of fish, a large number of fish. What other miracles did Jesus do? He done all sorts of miracles.
Rose from the dead.
Rose from the dead, of course, right? I mean, these sorts of claims are sort of, strewn across history.
Right, brother.
Why this particular claim?
So hold on one second. So I'm saying to you that we've got some basic bedrock facts in history. Basic bedrock fact of history is that Jesus Christ is a real person. He really lived. Basic bedrock fact of history is Jesus Christ was truly crucified and did die on a cross. Basic bedrock fact of history is that his closest followers went on to claim that he had risen from the dead. Those are the facts. They are undisputed facts. Not even skeptics like Dr. Bart Ehrman disputes those facts. So now what we must do is be good historians and come up with a theory that explains the facts that we have. So the question, the dialogue that we should be entering into is, what is the best explanation of the facts that we have?
All right.
And I'm saying that the best explanation of the facts that we have are embodied in the Christian faith. Jesus Christ was a real person, so all the mythicists are wrong. Jesus Christ really did die on a cross, so all of the Muslims are wrong. Jesus Christ did really rise from the dead, and so everyone who disagrees with Christianity is wrong. Now, that's my hypothesis. If you're saying that my hypothesis is wrong, you are entitled to do that in this dialogue. But you have to explain why it is wrong, and it would be good of you to offer a better theory. That's the conversation we're having.
Okay. I mean,
so feel free to tell me why my hypothesis is wrong, and then offer a better hypothesis that explains the facts that we have.
Okay, I think I'll try and tell you, I'll try and clarify to you as to why I think your hypothesis
okay,
is
that's
wrong,
fine.
Right?
Explain why my hypothesis is wrong.
If we just use sort of basic, see, I think maybe we're seeing the same thing, but we're coming to different conclusions, right? And I'll propose that we just use basic critical thinking skills, right? Who, what, when, where, how, and why, right? So, all right, let me come at it from another angle. The Muslims say X, Y, and Z. The Jews say X, Y, and Z. The Hindus say X, Y, and Z. The Buddhists say X, Y, and Z. Each one of those religions has multiple subdivisions that say X, Y, and Z. Every traditional society on a history has some kind of spiritual world claim, right? Anywhere you go, and it goes from the bizarre, like, you know, the earth is on the back of a turtle,
yep,
to the relatively reasonable, like, you know, the Aristotelian idea of the unity of God, right? And you've got everything in the middle, right? From the mad to the relatively reasonable. And history is full of this. You can go to any village anywhere in the world.
Okay, I get your point.
Right? And they'll have some weird claim about the universe.
Can I reply
right?
to that point?
Just 1 second.
I get the point.
Your claim is one claim out of these thousands of claims, right? And you don't have any more evidence, because what you have is some literary evidence. Someone's written something a couple of decades after the life of Jesus, right? Claiming something about Jesus.
Okay, I get that point as well. Now, can I reply?
Your truth claim is no more bona fide or worthy of belief.
I get that point.
Than anybody
can I reply?
else's, because you've not presented any more evidence than everybody
okay,
else.
so I'm gonna. Can I reply now?
What you have is a claim.
Can I reply now?
And to your and in your own admission, a hypothesis.
Okay, can I reply now? So notice, ladies and gentlemen, I invited my interlocutor to engage in the discussion that he is demanding, and he hasn't really engaged in the argument. We have undisputed bedrock facts of history. These are not disputed by anyone. No one disputes that Jesus Christ was risen. Sorry, no one disputes that Jesus Christ was a real person. No one who is a real historian disputes that Jesus Christ was crucified. Even Muslims today have had to back off and admit that someone was crucified.
Do you believe?
Let me finish. And nobody disputes the fact that the first Christians claimed that a man that they knew was dead was alive. Now, I've invited my interlocutor to engage in a hypothesis that explains the bedrock facts of history, and he hasn't. What he has done is just say lots of different beliefs exist in the world, and that your beliefs have no more evidence than someone else's. But what he has missed as part of this conversation is that the bedrock facts of history that I have appealed to as the basis of my argument are evidenced facts. They are evidenced. That's the point. It is evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. It is evidence that Jesus Christ was crucified. It is evidence that the first Christians believed that Jesus Christ had rose from the dead. So now what we must do is try to understand why did those people believe what they believe. So my question to all of you who are watching on camera and all of you listening in the audience, and I'll ask him again, I'm not asking you, is what would convince you a man that you knew was dead was now alive? What would convince you? He's already answered in the only way possible, that you experience it and you see it, that it is a reality that you experience.
No, but that's what you...
So that means if we are going to be charitable to these people in history, that this also happened to Christ. Now, the fact that there are other beliefs, how does a Christian explain that? Christians believe that the devil is a liar and that the devil is alive in the world seeking the ruin of souls. he has put out lies across the world to keep man from finding God in nature or in the gospel. And the fact that you're saying that I don't have evidence means that you were not listening to my argument, because the bedrock facts about Jesus are not disputed. They are evidence, which means my argument is built on evidence.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll have this debate with you based on the idea that Jesus was a real person, he existed, he was crucified, right? Those facts...
And that his first followers believed that he rose from the dead.
And I'll even give you that some people believe he rose from the dead.
Yes.
Okay?
Great.
So
we've all agreed that we're going to proceed in this conversation accepting the evidenced bedrock facts of history about Jesus.
Yeah. So, I mean, the idea that some guy existed who started a movement, who inspired people, who was pious, right?
There's nothing unusual.
It's historical, right?
Yeah, totally.
Believable.
Yes, believable, reasonable. So you believe that?
Could be. Right?
So do you believe that claim? Do you now believe that Jesus was a real person?
These are real physical, real sort of non-miraculous possible things.
So do you believe Jesus is a real person now?
But the idea that this man came back from the dead, or who was the spiritual child of the universal God. Right? That's the problem with that. That's the crux of the matter that we're debating.
Yes,
right?
correct.
So, okay, he existed. No problem, right? I can.
Do you accept that he was crucified?
I can agree that there was someone called Jonah who existed. I don't have to believe that he lived in a whale's stomach for 3 days or however.
I don't believe he lived either. He was dead.
Or whatever.
He was dead inside the whale's stomach.
That, maybe Muhammad did exist, right?
I believe there was a warlord called Muhammad.
I've got no problem with that. The normal sort of human existence side of the story, right? It's when it becomes miraculous. He got on the back of a horse and went up to see heaven and hell and have a chat with God, right? Or whatever else whatever other miracles he carried out. So, so the academic opinion, Bart Ehrman's opinion, is that while these people may have existed, right, had normal lives or had extraordinary lives, the miraculous aspects of the story were tacked on after the fact for political, normal sort of world reasons.
Can I reply?
Right?
Right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, he has not engaged with the bedrock facts of history.
I thought I did.
So what he has done is he's accepted the bedrock facts of history for the purposes of this discussion. But the point of this discussion is that we're meant to be having a hypothesis that explains the last of those bedrock facts. Now, it's good to know that our brother has moved closer to accepting the Christian faith. He accepts that Jesus is a real person. He accepts that Jesus Christ died on a cross. He's 2/3 of the way there to now being a Christian, thanks be to God, because of the evidence, ladies and gentlemen. But why does he reject the last fact? He rejects the last fact simply because of an unproven presupposition of his own worldview.
No,
let me finish. The unproven, calm down, relax. The unproven presupposition behind his denial of the resurrection is that there is no God. And that claim is not subject to empiricism. It is not subject. Let me finish. You're saying you're an agnostic.
I don't.
You're saying you don't know. You're saying you don't know.
Yeah, I'm open to being convinced that there is
so the question.
God cares.
So, bro, calm down. Yeah. I know it's upsetting.
No, but if you put words in my mouth,
if you're going to lose,
if you make claims about what I'm saying,
you're getting triggered. Relax.
No, I'm not getting
right.
Triggered.
So the fact of the matter is, if the presupposition that there is no God is false, then the claim that there is a God who can intervene in history means that we can believe in miracles, and we can believe that there is a God the Father can raise the Son, that the Son can raise himself, that the Holy Spirit can raise the Son. So the question that we should move on to is, are there good, reasonable grounds to believe in God?
No, I don't see how you go from the idea that there's some. Look, you say it's a hypothesis. Let me make. You've spoken. Let me speak. Right. So
you did interrupt, though.
I do apologize, and feel free to interrupt. Yeah. So the whole point of a hypothesis, if you go into the scientific realm, what a scientist does is he comes up with a hypothesis, and then he comes up with an experiment to prove.
I know the scientific method. It's okay.
Yeah? So this is called the scientific method. So the whole point of a hypothesis is that it's a jumping off. It's a spring off point to then go on and do the research or do the experiment to prove or disprove the hypothesis. Yeah. So I know what your hypothesis is, right? Hypothesis.
But give me a better one.
Right. But what you need to do is actually prove your hypothesis.
No. What you need to do, because the fact of the matter is that the evidence is there that the first Christians believed that Christ had risen from the dead. That is the evidence to the resurrection, their belief. It's not a hypothesis. So my point to you is, and then I'm saying that what explains the bedrock facts of history, is that the first apostles had really experienced Christ rising from the dead. What you need to do is give me a better hypothesis to explain the bedrock facts.
Do you need to disprove the Muslim hypothesis?
I can and do.
Do you need to for that hypothesis?
I do, all the time.
Let me
yes, I do, is the answer to your question.
Let me finish.
I've heard the question, I've answered it, yes.
All right, I've got a follow-up question.
Right.
So, if the Muslims have a hypothesis, right, and you can't disprove their hypothesis, right, would that mean that their hypothesis is true?
It would depend on the hypothesis. Right. So if the hypothesis is concerning something that's fundamental to their entire worldview, then if I can't disprove that particular hypothesis, then I have to give it real consideration.
Okay, I have
Wait, one second. Then I have to give it real consideration. Yeah. But we already have disproven the fundamental claims of Islam. The fundamental claims of Islam are that the Quran is the word of Allah, that it is unrepeatable, that it is unimitable, and that it is free from contradiction, and that it is unchanged. We've shown that it has been changed. We've shown that it is full of contradictions.
All of which,
we've shown that it can be imitated.
All of which
so
is
in every sense, none of those claims are true about Christianity. You don't even understand. You're too vague. And you're too sloppy and lazy in your thinking about Christianity because you assume that Christianity is like Islam. And Christianity is different from Islam. Our claims are different to the claims of the Muslims. Therefore, our fundamental claims need to be judged and examined in their own right.
I'll make my closing statement. Right?
No.
I have a hypothesis. My hypothesis.
Oh, finally, he's going to get to the hypothesis.
Yeah, my hypothesis.
Go on, what's your hypothesis?
Yeah, and if he can't disprove my hypothesis, he has to take it seriously. Yeah? It's a classic hypothesis, right? There's a teapot, right? A really nice teapot, and it's orbiting Mars.
What's this got to do with the resurrection?
It's my hypothesis.
No, we're talking about the resurrection. No, bro, stop being silly.
Let me finish.
No, stop being silly. No, stop being silly. We're talking about the resurrection.
It's connected.
No, it isn't.
I'll connect
no, talk about the resurrection.
No.
Brother, if you want this...
You're trying to control.
You're just trying to be a cartoon now.
No.
I thought I was having an intelligent conversation.
It's a very good point. I've got a very good point.
Right, this is... We're all going to see how a teapot around Mars is connected to the resurrection.
I think it's a very good point.
Go on.
Let me finish, right?
Go on.
So, my hypothesis...
It's irrelevant.
It is irrelevant. You're absolutely right. It's irrelevant.
I'll tell you why it's relevant. Give me a second.
Absolutely irrelevant.
You will be surprised at how relevant it is.
It really isn't. Because he thinks this is the first time I've heard this argument, and I've heard this argument before. I know what the argument is.
Wait a second.
Go on, finish your hypothesis.
Look, so unless I've totally misunderstood you, right? You've said because I can't disprove your hypothesis, then it must be true.
No, you have totally misunderstood me.
Or there's a non-trivial chance that it's true.
You have totally misunderstood the point I've made.
Clarified.
And I'll say it again, and this is the point, bro. You would be a better student of religion if you actually could bring yourself to listen to what people say to you. Because I bet your audience will be listening. What I said was this. We have certain indisputable facts about history. Let me just go through those indisputable evidenced facts of history. Jesus Christ was a real person. You wanted me to finish my, you wanted me to clarify. I'm clarifying. You asked for the clarification. Don't complain, now I'm clarifying. So undisputable evidence fact number one, Jesus Christ was a historical real person of 2,000 years ago. That means, ladies and gentlemen, every mythicist who denies that Jesus Christ was a real person is wrong. They are counterfactual. Fact number two, Jesus Christ was crucified and did die on a cross. That means that every Muslim who denies that Jesus Christ died on a cross is factually wrong. They are counterfactual.
Okay, what's the evidence?
Fact number three. Fact number three, ladies and gentlemen. The fact number three. Now he wants evidence. Now notice, he asks one question. He asks one question, he doesn't even listen, and then he demands another question. So I will finish the first question, and then I will answer his second question, and he will complain. So fact number three that is undisputed in historical terms is that the first followers of Jesus, who knew that he had died, claimed that he had risen from the dead.
Why should I believe
those are the facts. They are undisputable facts. Now, why are they facts, ladies and gentlemen? He said, what is the evidence? Why are they facts? Why? Because we have multiple independent first century sources that talk about the life of Jesus Christ. We have them not just in Christian sources like the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, not just in the writings of the Apostle Paul, but we also have pagan, Roman, and Jewish sources that also speak about the life and death of Jesus Christ. Like Josephus, like Suetonius, like, I'd have to get out the full list. Like Tacitus, ladies and gentlemen. Amy, you're just distracting people. Ladies and gentlemen. So the fact of the matter is, because of these multiple independent sources written by both believers and non-believers about Jesus Christ, that is why those three facts are indisputable facts. So now we have to have a hypothesis that explains those facts. I propose the hypothesis that it really happened. Jesus Christ did rise from the dead. Now, if you are going to engage in this debate intelligently, you must tell me why my hypothesis is wrong, and you must provide a better hypothesis to explain the facts. There you go.
Okay,
just focus. Triggered Muslim. Ignore him. Triggered Muslim. Just one of many. You don't own the park. We're having a conversation. Stop being rude. Stop being rude. Yes, you are rude. We're having a discussion. Go on. Yeah. Focus. I'll focus on you. Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking. Just talk. No one's interested. No one's interested, Grandad. Go on.
You are idiot.
Thank you.
Go on.
You are idiot.
Go on.
You talk rubbish.
We love you too.
And this is how Muslims will treat Christians if we don't stand up to the Islamists.
Excuse me?
You're being rude. You're being rude. Go away. Go away. Go away. Yeah, don't touch him. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. Go away. Right, go on. Just talk. Don't talk. It's all right. It's all right. It'll just get tense. Just press on with your argument.
I do apologise.
Right, talk to that couple at the back. Just project your voice to that couple at the back, and then people will hear you.
Right, Bob, I've heard what you've had to say.
Yeah.
Multiple independent sources claiming that some people saw Jesus come back from the dead.
Yeah? That's part of what I said, yes.
And so, am I now intellectually bound to be a Christian?
No.
Do me a favor, don't smoke in front of the camera, thank you.
Right. What?
Step back.
Jesus doesn't smoke.
So.
Doesn't matter.
I'm vaping.
Right.
Allowed.
So to answer your question.
Allowed to smoke.
So the question was, ladies and JC, stop triggering. He's had too much coffee. Leave him alone.
Just as bad as
you're not helping JC right now.
What was the question?
So the question was, because we have multiple independent early 1st century attestations to the life and death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, are you intellectually bound to believe the Christian belief? Well, no, of course you're not. You're morally free agents. Of course you can reject the evidence. But if you are an intelligent person, you will go where the evidence leads you. And the evidence leads you to believe in the life, death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Bro, calm down.
I just want to ask you a few questions about this evidence now. Now that you've told me what you think the evidence is, so what's the earliest source that we have claiming that Jesus was resurrected?
So the earliest source that we have that talks about the resurrection of Jesus Christ is the Kerygma of the church.
Written when?
No, it's not written. That's the point. The Kerygma of the church is the oral teaching tradition of the church that has continued uninterrupted for 2,000 years.
Give us a date.
And 33 AD. And it is earlier than Paul's letters. It is earlier than the first written records. Right. So that's the first strata of evidence, is the Kerygma of the church.
I heard what you said, right?
Yeah.
And this is not evidence, right?
That is evidence.
It's not evidence.
It is evidence.
So the people that saw, them seeing, that was evidence for them. Right?
That exactly.
So somebody writing that they claim they saw, that's not evidence for me.
Right, well, so you're selective about the evidence you use in history.
No.
Tell me this, do you believe that Julius Caesar existed?
We'll go around in circles.
Answer the question. Do you believe?
We had this conversation
No.
last time.
What, you're running. You're running.
No.
You're running.
You're not intellectually honest.
Okay, what evidence is there that Julius Caesar existed?
There's mounds of paperwork. There's mounds.
No, there isn't.
Wait, just a second. There's mounds of coins.
No, there's not.
There's. Look, fine. You want to say Julius Caesar didn't exist?
There's more.
You want to be skeptical about Julius Caesar? Is that healthy? Is it healthy?
Right. Hold on. Let me answer that question directly.
Healthy, right? It's healthy.
Let me answer that question directly. Okay. The fact of the matter is, there's more evidence for the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ than there is for many of the emperors of Rome.
That's
There's more
nonsense.
Evidence for the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ than there is for Aristotle or Plato. But we don't dispute that Aristotle or Plato lived, even though the evidence for their existence is far less and far later than the evidence for Jesus Christ's life, death, and resurrection.
Julius Caesar doesn't claim to be the reborn son of God, right? Julius Caesar was just a king in history, right?
He does claim actually to be a son of God.
Nobody takes it seriously, and rightly so.
I agree. Why? Because of Christianity. That's why.
No. So why should we take this claim that somebody wrote that some people claim to have seen Jesus rise from the dead?
So the question that you're asking. The dialogue that I keep trying to get you involved in, the dialogue that you're asking is that we're talking about truth, we're talking about reality. So I've presented evidence for basic facts and built my belief on the evidence for the basic facts. And I've given my hypothesis that explains the evidence and the basic facts. I am saying to you that if I am wrong in my belief, you need to demonstrate why my hypothesis is wrong, and you need to give a better hypothesis, and you haven't done that.
Bob, I'm going to make my closing statement. Let me make my closing statement. As ridiculous as you might think it is.
Go on. Finally, he's going to try and give his hypothesis about a black teapot floating around Mars. Go on.
So my hypothesis is that there's a teapot orbiting Jupiter, right? there's a teapot orbiting Jupiter, right? It's really nice, quality China, orbiting Jupiter right now, right? Now, I'm sure it's very difficult for you to disprove my hypothesis, right? But it's no less ridiculous a hypothesis, right? I might not be able to disprove your hypothesis that Jesus came back from the dead, right? But it doesn't mean it's not a ridiculous hypothesis and that it shouldn't even be taken seriously, just because of common sense. Okay? And on that bombshell...
No, wait. I'm going to make my final statement.
Okay, go ahead.
So here's why his hypothesis is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The reason why his hypothesis is ridiculous is because we have counterfactuals. We know that NASA has never sent a mission to Jupiter to deliver a teapot into the orbit of Jupiter.
Yeah, because
that means I did interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you.
Right, I do apologize. You're right.
But all the evidence tells us that that hypothesis never happened. Now let's apply exactly the same logic to the resurrection. All the evidence that we have demonstrates the basic facts of history. That the first Christians knew about Jesus' real existence, his real death on the cross, and they knew of his resurrection. All of the evidence points in that direction, and there is no counterfactual evidence. The only counterfactual evidence is made by atheists on the basis of a presupposition that because there is no God, there can be no miracles. But there is nothing to support the atheistic position. There is nothing to, and as an agnostic, he can't even offer any argument about whether miracles can exist because his philosophy says we don't know. But if there is a God, then God can raise the sun to life, and therefore there can be miracles. So if you combine that presupposition with the available evidence, you have good reason to believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Can you be 100% certain from an empirical, historical perspective? No. No Christian historian argues that. But Christian historians do argue for the resurrection, like Dr. Mike Lacona. Stop being rude, Sajid. You're a child, and I think you might be emotionally disturbed. Don't put him on camera. He's just looking for an ego trip. Anyway, that was a good discussion.
Let's finish on camera. Bob, you know what?
I love this guy. I love this guy. He's really wonderful. I'll talk to this guy every single day, every single week. He's a really wonderful human being.
Bob, you know, and what I have to say, Bob, is that you're a searcher. You do search, right? And a lot of people don't. So I do appreciate that about you. So well done. Yeah.
Right, I want to give you a gift. As always, let me give you a gift. You've got a New Testament, right?
I've got a New Testament.
And do you have? Let me.
Agnostic. Agnostic. Yeah, we're just finishing.
He believes. Let me tell you one thing. He believes his God is three persons.
Never mind.
There you go.
God you gave me that already. Only one person.
Oh, I've given you that one. Have you read it? Did you read it?
I had a flick through.
Let me tell you.
You didn't read it.
We're just finishing.
Let me tell you one thing.
Just one.
No, just to warn you.
Here you go, bro. That one's for you.
He believes his God is three persons in one. But
just ignore him. Savage.
Okay, so
just ignore him. You look after yourself.
Likewise, my man.
Right, Savage, come and follow us, Sajid. Sajid, come and follow us. Come and follow us. Come and follow us, Sajid.